This is the HaYom Yom sayings by the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. This is in tune to what we just learned now. My father said, this is the previous Rebbe speaking about, previous Rebbe was the sixth Rebbe of Chabad, right? He's speaking about his father was the fifth Rebbe of Chabad. He said, my father said that coldness, like indifference and heresy, denying God, are separated by such a very slim thread. If you're a person that's unemotional, cold, you don't care about other people, you don't care about Judaism, you don't care, but you do it. You're a religious Jew, and you do what it says, but you're cold to the whole thing. So it says a very thin thread that separates that from total heresy, from just totally denying Judaism. Like it says, God, your God, says, Hashem Elokecha Eish Ochlahu, says God, your God is a consuming fire. Godliness is enthusiasm, being dynamic, being positive, happy. Learning Torah and davening has to be with a excitement that all my bones should say. The words of God in the Torah and in prayer are supposed to be exciting. If not, then a person will search for something else that does excite him. And that what's other something else could be something that's very bad. Especially it's be denying God. When you deny God, what happens? What are you left with yourself? I don't feel God. What do I feel myself? And that means leaves a big emptiness. Leaves a big emptiness. The less you put the Creator, the God of Israel, into your life, the more you put yourself, your own egotism in your life. There's a big empty space. All the physicality cannot satisfy spiritual needs. Therefore, coldness to God is on the borderline of heresy. It's just one little step over. That's today. Let's do tomorrow. Because you have to be excited. That's what Chassidut is supposed to bring, excitement. Here we go. Excitement about God. Okay, ready? This is from Beshalach. This is from the version of Beshalach. This is last week's Torah portion. He said a mimor, which is written in Likkutei Torah. And then afterwards he said to his son, my grandfather also said this mimor. These are the discourses we're learning in the morning. Afterwards he said to me, when he was in Medrash, he said that when he was, he summoned, he said that the first Rebbe of Chabad, when he was in Mezrich, when he was learning by the Maggid of Mezrich, Maggid called him into his room, and he said to him, my teacher, the Maggid of Mezrich said, my teacher, the Baal Shem Tov, he also said a mimor. Okay, just one second. When the Rebbes would say a mimor, there was a difference between a mimor and a speech. The Rebbes, most of the Rebbes of Chabad, they didn't say speeches. They said mimor. They said short mimorim. A mimor is, if you want to call it, messages from God. Messages from God, so to speak. The mimor comes through the Rebbe. It comes through the Rebbe. That's what we're learning in the morning. These things are godly messages for us about Torah, about commandments, etc. That's the mimor. The speeches, the Rebbe would analyze something. He would analyze a Rashi speech. He would analyze the conduct of the Hasidim. He would analyze. So when the Rebbes would say, sometimes they would say a mamar, a Hasidic discourse, they would say exactly the same one, and sometimes years apart. They would quote, they would say the same thing because the words of the mamar came to purify the world and the air. Okay, so it says, then the Maggid repeated this mimor to the Alter Rebbe. He said, the Maggid of Mezrich said, my teacher, the Baal Shem Tov, said this Hasidic discourse to me, and now I'm going to repeat it to you. And he added attention, which it says, Rabbi, river Ganai, part for me. It's in the Talmud that who was it that was it Chonia Magil? I don't remember. No, 1 second. Here it is. Here, Pinchas ben Yair. That Pinchas ben Yair had to go across a river, and the river separated from him. The river parted for Chonia Magil. Chonia Magil, Pinchas ben Yair. This was in the time after the temple, after the second temple, which is similar to splitting of the sea, the splitting of the Red Sea. The Tzemach Tzedek said, today the Baal Shem Tov and the Magid and the Alter Rebbe, the Tzemach Tzedek, that was the third Rebbe of Chabad. He said the Baal Shem Tov, the Magid of Mezrich, and the Alter Rebbe, they passed away. They each one came to me, and each one repeated this Hasidic mimer, but he repeated it in his own style. Several hours later, the Tzemach Tzedek called my grandfather, that was his son. The Tzemach Tzedek called his son, and he also said this mimer again. So what is the mimer? The mimer is Ra'i, Kei, Hashem. See that God gave you the Shabbat. That's the mimer. I wanted to do that actually, but see that God gave you the Shabbat. He said that. So this mimer was said over and over by the Rebbes, each one a little bit different in their own nuance, because this purifies the world. This purifies the spiritual worlds and the physical world. Good. Now, story.